The mechanical whirl of the planet's core muffled as the doctor strode across its walkways. Each small part worked on and on, keeping the world alive for masses long since departed. Only the doctor lived to see the marvel of the glimmering cogs that brought a unique music to the hollow core. The doctor looked out from the railing. He took pride in his travels still, a quieter one than other doctors carried with them. Just under the symphony of machinery, a chaotic growling grew from deep within the circuits. Well, that lasted longer than I expected. The doctor brushed himself off. A blur of shadows crawled across the machinery. Its hiss rang out throughout the technology, causing sparks to fly from the smaller crevices. "Do you mind? I was having a nice moment there." The shadow stopped. It turned to him with large white eyes, its body flickering like fire. It let out a mighty roar before leaping from the wall to the railing. As it landed, it shook the walkway, but the doctor stood still, keeping his gaze fixed on the creature, even as it stepped down from the railing, making its body grow larger and larger. Yes, very droll," said the doctor. In his head, he walked through the area repeatedly, clutching on to anything that may help. The creature squared up to him, fangs bared, letting out a deep, guttural growl. The doctor eyed the creature's chest. It breathed erratically, whip-like tail reaching below defensively. He forced himself to relax his posture. The creature circled him, never letting its gaze drop from the Time Lord. At the end of the walkway, from the corner of his vision, the doctor spotted someone waiting in the doorway. Slowly, the creature sat down. Its dark form pulsated with waves of grey cascading down from the top of its head. The doctor gradually held his hand out to the creature until his finger hovered over it. It sniffed it once, twice, 3 times before laying down completely on the catwalk. All show and no bite, eh? Refreshing. The doctor slid down onto the floor next to it. The creature's head shot up for a moment. It grumbled before easing itself back down, its skin becoming a solid pale blue. In the quiet, the newcomer's steps echoed throughout the planet's core. The creature let out a low, coarse growl as it lay on the walkway. From the shadows stepped a round-faced man in a battered black jacket, the glint of something shining in an inside pocket showing as he strode towards the doctor. He glared at the creature. "How's it going?" "Resting, I imagine." The doctor waved. "I don't suppose I'm lucky enough for you to be maintenance." "Doctor?" "Dave, actually. I'm covering the midnight shift." "I'm also the doctor." The doctor paused. He slowly stood up, keeping an eye on the creature as he did so. "Feeling nostalgic, were you?" The new doctor shook his head. He stood close by, revealing the deep bags under his eyes. "Not your timeline, I'm afraid." "I came for that." "Not my timeline? You're hardly going to be from a neighbouring one, are you? The world isn't that simple." "Today it is. I actually came to talk to you about it." "You mean complain and then move on, or do you actually want my help?" "Why can't it be both?" The doctor grinned. "It's usually both." The new doctor held the railing tight. "There are tears in the void, across the multiverse. I'm looking into the cause, but it's not quite enough. Things are getting through." Things like my new friend here." "It has to go back." The new doctor stepped forward. The creature leapt to its feet, body rippling with waves of dark colours as it let out a screech that rocked the walkway beneath them. Neither doctor moved until the creature sank into a shadow on the walkway before it shot back into the mechanisms. "That may take some coaxing." The other doctor frowned. "We may not have time. I'm having to repair the tears as I leave now." "Then what are you suggesting, Doctor?" "An alternative. Any alternative you can think of, because lately you found yourself halfway into the dark." The other doctor leaned back on the railing, letting out a deep sigh that made him sink onto the walkway. "Is it that obvious?" I know the look of utter contempt. Usually I'm giving it to other people, not... "Void doggos?" The doctor strode to his other self-side. "I would be very thankful if you never called them that." "I promised nothing." "You shouldn't travel alone." The other doctor glared at him. "What's your excuse then?" He opened his mouth to speak, but faltered before sitting next to the other Time Lord. They sat in silence. Each doctor took turns stopping and starting a new sentence. Most likely, they've been in each other's shoes, even if the faces were different. In time, the creature crawled back to them. They rested their head on the doctor's leg. "You're right. I should fix that after we're done today." The other doctor's gaze softened. "He seems to like it here, at least. Perhaps there's some sense in calling it a dog. This place is quite quiet. The maintenance team should be along soon, so I can fill them in on their new mascot. The Gear Planet Void Hounds doesn't really roll off the tongue. Such an inaccurate name, it would fit right in with sports." The other doctor chuckled. He brushed himself to his feet. As he dusted himself off, the glint of the Sonic caught the doctor's eye, battered and worn like the other doctor's jacket. A crack in the green orb on the end of the Sonic splintered at the tip, making it paler with only small patches of clear glass. The Doctor, a Sonic, a TARDIS, and a friend to share the universe with. You could tell a lot about one by another on the list. Unfortunately, with only a Doctor and a Sonic to fill a picture, he wasn't sure how much credit to give the other Doctor. The battered Doctor gestured to the creature. "Your new friend should help you find anything else that pops into the universe from the void." The Doctor patted the creature's head as he stood. "I hope this trip of many lifetimes does you some good." "Depends on how I look at it." "How are you looking at it?" The battered Doctor didn't reply. He turned on his heels, giving the Doctor a weak wave, and walked slowly down the walkway, back to the shadows on the other end.